We are concluding the ITFA 51st Trade and Forfaiting Conference. I'm here with none other than the big cheese himself, Sean Edwards, Chairman at ITFA. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Deepesh. Lovely to be on air with you again.
So let's do what we always do, which is the quick fire.
Yeah.
So I'm going to blurt out five words and tell me to let me think. Resilience.
Okay, resilience. Banks, trade finance banks are very good at it.
That was quick. That was quick.
Quick fire.
Okay, ESG.
ESG, it's the ITFA SROI model. ESG.
What's SROI?
SR, I should say. Social return on investment. ESG is not going away, but it's certainly changing. It's adapting to the new realities. We all know what those are. So what we've been doing in ITFA is to come up with a really cost-effective model to measure all of that. And we're calling that the SROI model, social return on investment. It's a concept that's been around in the sort of charitable sector for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
So ESG isn't necessarily out, but SROI
I don't think
is
it's down,
back.
but not out, and it's changing. You know, the regulation is changing. It's being diluted, it's being deferred, it's being delayed, but none of it, from what I can see, is disappearing.
Military and defence.
So that is something that we are very keen on trying to develop further. We all know, again, the geopolitical realities, especially in Europe, and the commitments by NATO countries to spend up to 5%, not less than 5% of GDP, which they will need to ramp up to over a period of years. How do we finance that? And what's the role of trade and supply chain finance? It hasn't had a big role in defence spending up to date, but actually the scale of what we need to do to rebuild, especially European military production, military infrastructure, is so huge that you're going to have a lot of those classic situations where supply chain finance makes sense. So big buyers, small suppliers who are actually very fragile. So it's super critical from a security point of view that we actually make sure those suppliers remain in operation, and that's of course one of the classic rationales for putting supply chain finance programs in place. A lot of need for it, so I'm working a lot on that, and a lot of really exciting stuff happening. You don't want to think about it too much because it can get a little bit scary, but it's definitely necessary.
Well, something that's probably less scary but very important, partnership in the context of multilateral partnership.
Yes, so the other big thing which we talked about at this conference is TFCOP2, the Trade Finance Conference of the Parties. We launched last year in Washington, D.C. at the IFC offices. We'll be back in D.C. in October as part of IMF week, and the following week we'll be in London for TFCOP2. And this is really about a partnership between public and private. So the MDBs, DFIs, the insurers, the banks. It needs a lot of technical expertise to try and actually bring everybody together to come up with the most effective approach to reducing the trade finance gap, which is $2.5 trillion now, and that's probably an underestimate.
Yeah. What about resilience in the form of trade and supply chains?
So a lot of that is around now, and it links in a little bit with the defence stuff, but a lot of it is around how secure you can make your supply chains in the new geopolitical realities. Yeah. How you can make sure that you're not going to be affected by bottlenecks in the Suez Canal and all the rest of it. All of these things, they're unexpected, but they're predictable. So resilience is on the technical side, but it's on the finance side as well. And it's also about, I think, making sure that we can finance the new trade corridors. So a lot about South-South, a lot about the diversion of trade because of tariffs to other countries. Europe is still going to be the world's biggest trading bloc. So we'll still be buying stuff, right? The way that might come to us could be very different. We need to make sure those chains are resilient. They need to be properly financed, and so that's a very important thing for the whole industry.
Thank you. And the final theme, emerging leaders.
Emerging leaders, yeah. So We put we put a lot of effort into our Emerging Leaders Program. It's the leading program of all the trade associations. One of the highlights, which we all enjoyed last night, is the Emerging Leader Award. So we had three fantastic presentations. We announced the award last night. But really, there was one winner, but they were all winners. Sanjana won that, but they were all great.
Brilliant. Well, you heard it here first. That was an update from the chairman of ITFA at ITFA's 51st conference in Singapore. Sean, thank you very much.
My pleasure.